President Trump says the U.S. will begin helping free ships stuck in the Strait of Hormuz, and now says new negotiations may lead to peace after saying just yesterday that he would reject Iran's proposal. Bryan Llenas has the details tonight.
The U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz continues, despite Tehran asserting it controls the waterway and ships not affiliated with America or Israel can pass if they pay a toll. Sunday, a large cargo ship near the strait reported being attacked by multiple small boats just 11 nautical miles west of the coast of Iran. The crew on board were all reported safe, and while Iran did not take responsibility, the attack is one of at least a dozen that have taken place since the war began. The attack came amid intense negotiations over an Iranian 14-point proposal to end the war. Tehran claims it's received a U.S. response to its offer and is now reviewing it. They also made it clear it did not include nuclear negotiations, a sticking point for President Trump, who on Saturday signaled military action could resume.
Sir, under what circumstances would you restart military strikes on targets?
If they misbehave, if they do something bad, but right now, we'll see. But, you know, it's a possibility that could happen, certainly.
What does the proposal include? Among the requests, according to Iranian state media, 30 days of talks to end the war, a withdrawal of U.S. troops, a lifting of the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports and sanctions, and an end of the war between Israel and the Iranian-backed militant group Hezbollah in Lebanon. The final point may be a tough ask, as Israel and Hezbollah continue exchanging rocket and drone attacks despite a U.S.-brokered ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon. And there is no end in sight to fighting in southern Lebanon, with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowing to stay in Lebanon until Hezbollah is fully disarmed. In Tel Aviv, Bryan Llenas, Fox News.